Hello and welcome to Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. This lesson is divided to part 1 and part 2. In part 1 I am going to go over the regions, availability sets, availability zones, resource groups, Azure Resource Manager, and I will take overview about some examples of Azure services for virtual machines such as Azure VMs, VM skill sets, app services and functions. In second video, I will create a virtual machine in Azure, and I will configure this virtual machine as a web server, and I will connect it with the web server over the internet. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Magdi Amin, Microsoft Certified Trainer and Azure Administrator Associate. So let's get started. Azure is made up of data centers are located around the globe. These data centers are organized and made available to end users by country and region. A region is a specific geographic location. Each region is made up of one or more data centers are networked together with a low latency network. A region is a place where you will deploy your service or your resource in Azure. For example, I am going to create a virtual machine in Azure. I have to locate this virtual machine in some region, such as East US, West US, or UK West. Microsoft has almost 58 regions available in 140 countries. Availability sets. Let's first define what is the meaning of availability. The availability refers to how long your service is up and running without interruption. Availability sets are a way for you to ensure your service, your application is up and running. Availability sets consist of update domains and fault domains. I will start with fault domains. Think of a fault domain as an individual server rack. As shown in this figure, the first server rack, second server rack, third server rack, separate server racks in the same data center. Each rack contains many hosts. Suppose we will put two virtual machines, VM1 and VM2, into availability set. Then Azure will distribute the first virtual machine, VM1, into or in fault domain 0, and second machine, VM2, in fault domain 1. If the network power cooling fails, then only one rack will be affected and the other is still accessible. Update domains. Update domains is a group of VMs that can be updated and rebooted at the same time. When you spread your VMs across update domains, one update domain will be updated and rebooted while the other remains accessible. As shown here, update domain 0, update domain 1, update domain 2. We can configure an availability set only when we deploy a new virtual machine. We cannot add an existing virtual machine to an availability set. Okay. Let's move to next slide. Availability zones. Availability zone. Physically separate locations within an Azure region, as shown here. Availability zone 1, availability zone 2, availability zone 3, made up of one or more data centers equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking. If one availability zone goes down, the other continues working. VM redundancy. Availability zones allow us to run critical application with high availability and the low latency replication. We can use availability zone for VMs, manage this load balancers, and SQL database. When we implement availability zones, that you protect against the data center failures. Resource group, a container that holds related resources for an Azure solution or project. The resource group can include all the resources that you want to manage, deploy, monitor as a unit, as a group, rather than handling these resources individually. Resources can be moved from one resource group to another resource group. Resources can be added or removed from resource group at any time. Resource group can hold many different resources from many different regions. I have one note here. Every Azure resource must exist in one and only one resource group. I cannot assign virtual machine, for example, to two different resource groups at the same times. Virtual machine must exist in only one resource group. Okay. Now I have several resources assigned to a resource group. How we can manage all of these resources? Well, that is done through the Azure Resource Manager. This is a management layer used to access and manage those Azure resources. By using this layer, we can create, configure, manage, delete resources and resources groups. We can organize the resources by creating tagged resources in Azure subscription. We can control access and resources. And we can access this management layer by using Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, CLI, and so on. Now we'll talk about Azure Compute Services, Virtual Machine Services. VMs are software emulations of physical computers. Examples of Azure services for virtual machine include Azure VMs, VM skill sets, app services, and functions. Azure VMs is considered as infrastructure as a service model. By using Azure VMs, we can create and use virtual machine in the cloud just like a physical computer. We'll be able to customize all of the software running on the VM. VM skill sets is just a set of identical and auto-scaling virtual machines, all running at the same times, and based on the workload, we can add or remove virtual machines instances. VM skill sets supports Linux or Windows images. We wouldn't normally use a VM skill sets in a small production environment, but we use it in large scale deployment. App services is considered a platform as a service. By using these services, we can build and deploy highly available cloud apps for web and mobile in any programming language that you prefer. App services provide enterprise-grade security and compliance. Azure Functions allow you to run a small piece of code without worrying about the application infrastructure. When you are interested only about the code running your service, Azure Functions are ideal for you. Azure Functions are a key component of serverless computing. I reached to the end of the video. Thank you.